In Washington state, allegations have surfaced of police officers tampering with evidence, specifically altering police reports and affidavits to omit critical details. According to the Revised Code of Washington 98.72.150, a person is guilty of tampering with physical evidence if, having reason to believe that an official proceeding is pending or about to be instituted, they alter, destroy, or conceal any record or document to impair its availability. This serious accusation points to officers, such as Officer Deckard, submitting documents to the court that differ significantly from their original narratives, with highlighted discrepancies showing omissions of potential civil rights violations. When confronted, the response was dismissive, claiming these are separate documents meant to establish probable cause with minimal detail. However, this practice raises ethical concerns, as altering narratives to exclude misconduct undermines the integrity of the justice system and erodes public trust in law enforcement.
So this door's locked, that door opens, so if you want to leave, that door's open there. How can I help you today?
Well, let's see where to get started here. So basically, the first thing, or the main thing, is that an officer here at your department appears to have tampered with evidence.
Okay.
A police report. So, real quick, I can show you, or it might take a minute, but we got time. So, here is the result of a Freedom of Information request I made on May 23rd, 2024. So that's for you to look at here, and I have it here where I'll show you.
What am I doing with this?
Just hold on to that for a second here.
Would you like me to
yeah, you can
take this and enter it in as a supporting document?
No. If you could just start opening and following with me. I have the same stuff here, so.
I'm not going to read through all this right now.
No.
We only have a couple officers working. So.
I'm going to point it out, but this is just for your reference, right? So this is Officer D. Packard, right?
Okay.
And this is his officer's narrative. And there's some differences between this one right here. This is still part of it right here. And here. And still part of the same thing. And then this one right here, right, that was submitted to the court. And so I've highlighted the differences.
Okay.
Whether it's minor.
These are different documents.
Typos.
These are different documents. So we have a PC statement to take somebody to do any kind of charging or arrest or anything like that. We have a PC statement. So we just type up whatever we need to establish probable cause. So that is sometimes copy and pasted from your report,
so
but edited.
That's what this is.
Yeah, so the officer's narrative, you write your report afterwards. So if you're doing charging, you'll just establish your probable cause. So these two documents aren't identical. They're different documents.
I know. I can see that.
They can be different. So whatever is in here can be 100% different than in there. You could type this from scratch, but it's always quicker if you copy and paste and then, okay, well, this needs to be more detailed than this. All you have to do in here is establish probable cause, where over here you're trying to put up as much detail as possible in all the other stuff. So that's why they're different.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It's sort of. I was under the impression that they can make minor changes, like corrections for times and dates and names and stuff like that, and maybe and not subtract things from like the narrative,
Yeah. So the report, that there is a system put into place to make sure that what you're talking about doesn't happen. So we have we type up our report. We'll go in and we have an approval status. So we click, we're done typing our report. We do approval. It goes to our sergeant or whoever the lead officer is at the end of the day.
Right.
That sergeant reads through and says, there's like a bunch of typos, or like, this isn't right or accurate.
Definitely.
I'm good.
Oh, yes.
So that report.
I'm David. This is Sean.
Yeah, what you guys?
So that report goes through a process. The sergeant looks it over. It's in approval status, and then when the sergeant says, "Yep, good to go," it goes up front to records. Records looks it over, and once it's completed, it's locked in. It can't be edited. Like, we can't go in there and edit it.
Okay.
It'll show any kind of record or history of any kind of editing. But what you're talking about is these are two completely separate documents. So you have your affidavit of PC, probable cause. So if there's any kind of charging going on, we type this up. This goes to the jail or to the
Well,
prosecutor.
and this also goes, to the court, right?
Yeah, to the court. So that is just, all that has to have is the basics, the bare bones, just establishing probable cause for whatever the charge is.
Okay.
The report is more of like a
but
detailed.
what if it's pretty inclusive, except for minor adjustments to kind of change the narrative or to omit civil rights violations?
The same thing, once this is submitted into the court, it's not changed. This document won't be changed after that.
Right, no, but I'm saying that this one is different than the one that was submitted to the court. And then two, I have another question. So this is the one, right? And then you can see here the electronic signature and the date right here, 2/28/2024. And then on the same, information request, here's a handwritten date of 5/19/2024. Is that common, or?
Essentially, we have all these forms and stuff where you type it in there, and then we have to fax it over to the jail. Sometimes the jail's like, "Hey, you forgot this," and you go, "Oh shoot," write it in there real quick. Or so this stuff was all entered in there, usually typed in, and if you forget something, you can write it in there by hand. So you can also, we have these forms in our office. We can do the whole thing by hand if we want to. It doesn't have to be typed. So I don't see any issue with handwritten data in there.
So, but is that common? Is that something that happens a lot?
My guess would be if we got to put the date on there, and then that way the jail probably said, "Hey, we need the date on there," or something like that.
The jail.
So was that faxed over? I'm not familiar, so I don't know. If
this wasn't a jailable
okay.
thing or anything like that.
Just, it has to have the date on there, so it's probably highlighted more of.
And then two, it's strange because it says in here, written, like whited out and then written over, handwritten, the 19th day of March, 2024 at Anacortes, Washington. And then it's handwritten right here, 5/19/2024, and that's May, obviously. And then there's a, hand signature from Officer Packard there. So, and the fact that...
And these are all your documents too, so...
Well, no, this is yours. This came from you guys, right?
You're showing me, so...
The fact that all this highlighted stuff is different or subtracted and omits, right here, this is a big part. Sergeant Clifford made numerous attempts to contact David at the door to the residence. Although David was seen at the window to the residence and being summoned to the door, he ignored all efforts and did not respond. During one attempt at the door, David responded to the request to come out and talk with officers with something to the effect of, "You're not here to hand out candy bars and high fives, dude."
What is your question, sir?
David remained non-cooperative during the efforts by law enforcement to contact him. Then goes on to say, then Sergeant Clifford and I responded to Unit 11. Sergeant Clifford began to address David specifically with his first name, requested that he open the door. And then that's when I said, "No, thanks." So the way that this rolls out, right, is, I don't know if you're familiar with knock and talk procedure, or like when you don't have a warrant and you want to knock on somebody's door to get some more information or investigate, right? Like, there's a procedure or certain lines, right, that you have to follow. Like, you can only, really knock one session, right? And if you're ignored...
Are you talking about if we have a warrant into the house?
No, without a warrant. If you're just trying to knock and, "Hey, I got a call about such and such, was wondering, whatever, right? So you can't just keep knocking and knocking and knocking or post up, right?
No, we can... If we're trying to get a hold of somebody, we're going to keep on trying to get a hold of them as long as we can, like whatever is reasonable. If it's a warrant or exigent circumstances where we're going to kick the door, then we have to announce 3 times, knock, say Anacortes Police, open the door, Anacortes Police coming in, Anacortes Police. After that, then there's protocol for that.
Well,
but as far as trying to get
with your own policies, right? Like in your policy manual, right?
Beyond police reports, the conspiracy extends to court administrators who allegedly alter audio court records published on the court's website. RCW 9 8.7 2.010 defines tampering with evidence as including knowingly presenting false or misleading information in an official proceeding. When evidence of these alterations was presented, the court's response was to remove all past records from public access and cancel their recording software subscription without explanation. This abrupt action suggests a deliberate cover-up to shield officials from accountability. Such manipulation not only violates the public's right to transparent judicial processes, but also indicates a systemic effort to protect those in power, leaving citizens vulnerable to unchecked abuses under the color of law.
Okay, so what is the policy then for warrantless, knock and talk?
Our policy book's about that big, so if you want that, you can ask and see what they're willing to.
I've viewed it and I'm familiar with it. I'm asking you what your policy is. Are you under the impression that you can just keep knocking and knocking and knocking, or go and look into windows and stuff like that of a residence without probable cause or exigent circumstances or a warrant?
Entering somebody's house is one thing. Going around trying to see if they're home or get their attention to talk to them about active investigation is a different thing. So, are you talking about somebody? Are you talking about somebody entering your house, or what are you asking?
No, violating the curtilage, repeated knocks, knocking attempts, coercion, to open the door and come outside, like threats of arrest.
I think this is something you need to talk to your attorney about.
No, I'm asking you. So you don't see a problem with what I've explained?
I haven't read your complaint
right here.
Your complaint right now is saying that piece of paper is different than the other piece of paper, and I explained to you that those are two separate pieces of paper. They're not.
Right.
They're not altered.
They're
not altered documents.
Tampering. Yes, they are. This because this didn't go to the court.
So what is your complaint?
That he's altering his record, right, his affidavit, to omit civil rights violations and misconduct.
The affidavit, and I explained to you too, that the affidavit of PC is just establishing the PC. It's the bare bones. You can put in as little as possible. You can say, I contacted this person this time, they did this, probable cause was established, they were arrested, or there was a probable cause for the arrest or for the crime. That's all that needs to be in there. Everything else is essentially extra.
Okay, so you can just you can just change whatever,
This is the report. The other one is the bare bones one. And you're saying that all the stuff in the report isn't in the affidavit. All the stuff in the report doesn't have to be in the affidavit. The affidavit is the bare bones probable cause. They're two completely different documents.
This is very, has everything to do with the probable cause.
I mean, if we documented every single thing we did in every single call, we wouldn't be able to respond. I mean, you put in, they're two separate things.
To change it, right? Because he made the minor typos, right, of Spiegel in one, Spidel in the other.
Okay. So I pulled an informational case. You said you wanted to pull a case. So right now your complaint is that there's altered documents, correct?
Yes, omitting civil rights violations.
Can I see 119?
Admitting civil rights, what was that?
I'm sorry, what?
You're admitting civil rights what?
Omitting information on the civil rights violations and police misconduct.
Okay, and then altered documents. Docs.
As well as all five of these officers, unfortunately, participating in the unlawful conduct, of the incident on 2/27/2024.
David, 20 Cascade Guy, to case number, please.
Can you go ahead?
Can I get my case number, please?
1706.
1706. Receive, thank you. Okay, so right now your complaint today is
You're welcome, 1253.
there's altered documents, you said there's unlawful conduct. Let's see, what was that? The civil rights violations.
By Dylan Packard.
Okay.
Terrence Clifford. Joshua Schulten.
A former public defender transitioning to a senior prosecutor in a neighboring county exemplifies a glaring conflict of interest, conspiring to deprive citizens of their constitutional rights. RCW 42.2010 states, "Every public officer who shall knowingly violate their oath or duty is guilty of a misdemeanor." This individual's shift from defending the accused to prosecuting them raises questions about impartiality, especially when paired with allegations of evidence tampering and record manipulation. The failure to address this conflict allows officials to wield unchecked power, undermining the constitutional protections guaranteed to citizens. Such transitions, if not transparently managed, risk creating a justice system where loyalty to colleagues overshadows the duty to uphold justice.
Tyler Hatcher. And Delmas Farrell.
Casket stopping. Good.
And then also Officer Pleadwell, whom I called to report this to, and said that he wasn't going to do anything about it. He said go ahead and put him on the list.
Yeah, I mean, you can come in here and do this kind of thing as many times as you want and add as many people as you want to the list, but what you need to do if you have an issue is take it to court. So coming in here and saying that you're not happy with the way stuff's documented, what are you going to accomplish by doing that, by talking to more officers saying that you think that this isn't right? This is something that goes to court.
It's your responsibility, and you swore an oath, to uphold these rights.
That's why I'm here documenting, so,
Okay, so what's
we
the
document,
issue?
I do another report saying that you said this, this, and this, so X, Y, Z, there's another piece of paperwork, so if you have an issue, then you'd address it, you'd get an attorney, you'd go to court. So coming in here and doing this, I don't see your...
So you're not going to seek accountability for this kind of stuff? You're not going to,
Right now, I'm a secretary, I'm documenting what you're saying, it goes to the supervisor reviews it.
Well, can I ask you, Monahan, like, what do you think about it?
From what I'm hearing, you already talked about it. The two documentation, one's the report, and then one's a probable cause affidavit. The one that gets into the court is a probable cause affidavit. That's the one that the court reads and see what determines, hey, this person did this.
Right, exactly. And then
And the report is going to be more in-depth, all the steps that were taken during that incident, and we include all that in the affidavit. Some of that stuff does not relate to what determined that probable cause for that person.
Well, do you mind, going over like the details of the omissions, and then maybe then you can give me an informed opinion on, the ethics of that? Or
This is not the time and the place for that. Right now, we have 3 officers covering all of Anacortes. You have 2 of them in the building right now. So we're not going to go through all this. I'll document that you're upset and not happy with the way things were documented, and then you can take it to court. You can talk to an attorney. You have the documents.
Well, I'm asking you basically if you're going to take it, take it to the chief, take it, to the officers, take it to oversight, or is this just kind of going in the trash?
So why did you ask to speak to 28?
Because I had an incident with him yesterday, and I had a good interaction with him. He seemed like
So it's not because he's the lowest number on the totem pole today. Most likely, if I were in your shoes, I'd be asking to talk to the chief.
I've already been there with the chief, and the chief ignores all my emails and stuff. I got him saying that he reviewed the badge cam footage and everything, and totally stands behind their actions, which is sad because it's clearly evident on the badge cam of misconduct.
Does that make sense though, that you'd go as high up as you can? And
I gotta go everywhere, man. Like every officer. I don't know how many of you are there. Like if you could give me the roster, I'll take this to everybody and be like, yo, look, what do you think? Can you help me?
What are you accomplishing by talking to every single officer? What you need to do is take it to court.
I'm doing the due diligence, man. I'm doing what you should be doing. I'm taking this.
My job is not to review every other officer in the building's report, and
I get
so
it, man. And it puts you in a tough position.
You do that in court.
These are your bros, and I get it and stuff. But it's this kind of shit can't continue, you know, and,
I recommend you consult with your attorney.
And my second thing.
I'm not going to sit here and go through all of that right now. So I'm going to give you your card and your case number, and you can talk to the chief or somebody else. But I'm not going to go through all that.
Now, the evidence I have of tampering with court records.
You can talk to somebody above me. I'm not going to go through this. We only have 3 officers. I'm not going to go through this.
Can you help me take this report or see this evidence of court record tampering?
The officer already explained, if there's an issue with the reports and everything, you have to take it up with your attorney.
Sorry to waste you guys' time.
You like your case number?
Yeah, yes, please.
All right. Case number is...
Is there a detective too or anybody else?
You don't just talk to every single person in the building. You talk to
get somebody to do something.
The tallest, the person the highest up there, a captain or a chief, and it sounds like you already talked to the chief. So if you're not happy with that, you talk to your attorney and you take it to court. Coming back here and asking to talk to every single person working on every single shift isn't going to solve anything or change anything. Does that make sense?
Eventually it will, yeah, if I talk to the right person. I was hoping that would be you.
No. So do you have a pen for your case number?
If you give me a moment.
Okay, 25. Check that. 25-A-01706.
Okay, your name's Maurer.
Yep. M-O-W-R-E-R. It's all faded off there, sorry.
Right, well, let's go over. And so you can't give me any detective or any other thing between yourself and the chief, because...
No, you can call dispatch and ask for somebody else, and if they're available, detectives don't. I mean, you can make appointments for detectives or make appointments for chief or captain or so on, but the next step, like I'm saying, is you take it to court, you get an attorney and say, hey, I've got an issue with this, here's the evidence, all that stuff. They have legal knowledge that I don't have, they figure out what to do with it, and you go from there. But coming in and talking to every single officer is not the appropriate action.
You could, discuss with your supervisor to run by him, and see, what their advice is.
I'm pretty sure they're aware. I can go talk to them. So are you requesting a phone call, or what are you asking for?
I believe I just asked if you could run this by your supervisor and see if...
Yeah, so essentially our conversation, I go in, I'll type up a report, and they do briefing every single day.
What I'm asking for is anybody between you and the chief, basically.
To come in and sit down and talk to you right now?
That would be great.
Okay,
yeah.
I can go ask. Most likely the answer is going to be no, but I will go ask.
Okay.
When confronted with evidence of misconduct, law enforcement and court officials deflected responsibility, refusing to investigate or escalate the issue. RCW 9 8.80.10 declares a public servant is guilty of official misconduct if, with intent to obtain a benefit or deprive another of a benefit, they knowingly commit an unauthorized act under color of law. Officers dismiss the complainant's concerns, suggesting they take it to court while ignoring their own role in upholding accountability. The chief's refusal to address badge cam footage showing misconduct further illustrates a systemic failure to enforce oversight. This pattern of denial and inaction perpetuates a culture where corrupt officials evade consequences, leaving citizens to fight for justice against a system designed to protect its own. Like and subscribe for more police cam stories. Watch the next recommended video. Click to watch now.